All right, everybody. Today we are looking at exponents of 0 or 0 exponents. This is kind of a walk in the park. So, basically, the secret rule here is that anything raised to the 0 power is 1. Now, there are some tricky situations here because sometimes not everything that you think being raised to the 0 power is being raised to the 0 power. For example, let's take a look at this negative 2 raised to the 0. Well, the 2, yes, it's being raised to the 0, but this negative sign is not. It is its own entity. This is the same as negative 1 times 2 to the 0. Well, 2 to the 0 is 1, but it's being multiplied by a negative 1. And 1 times negative 1, that's going to simplify to a negative 1. And let's simplify this other. Well, now this negative 2 is in parentheses, so this negative is also being raised to the 0. Here, we get a simplification, just 1. Very simple. Now, let's go take it one step further. Here I have negative 2 raised to the 0. Same thing I had here, actually, but with a negative out in front. Well, if I had that same answer and a negative out in front, that would give me negative 1. So that gives me negative 1. And same thing here. This 2 is being raised to the 0, but the negative is outside the parentheses, so it is not. So this is negative 1 as well. This doesn't always apply to one thing all by itself. Sometimes, as you see here, we have a exponent of 0 for a variable, such as, in this case, b. Well, 4a times b to the 0. b to the 0 is 1, so that's the same thing as saying 4 times a times 1. Well, 4a times 1 is just 4a. So you can almost think of it as the thing with the exponent 0 just kind of gets dropped off and thrown away. Same thing here. 6 to the 0 is 1. 1 times x is just x. And of course, that's all there is to it. You could write 1 times x. You don't need to. X is more simple. Here, same thing. X to the 0 is 1, so we don't worry about that. It's just 1 times y squared gives me y squared. And last thing here, well, we have y squared, x squared, y to the 4th times divided by z to the 11th, all raised to the 0 power. Well, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I know it's all in the parentheses and it's being raised to the 0, so this just simplifies to a 1. Easy peasy, no problem easy.